And I was watching them so intently because I'm like, what is the difference between somebody who is not at that level and somebody who is at that level? Right? Like, what is the difference between us being outside of the six-figure mastermind and those people who are inside of it? And I'll tell you one thing that really stood out to me.
Welcome to the Impact Driven Entrepreneur, the podcast that helps you expand your reach and convert that reach into clients so you can lead your tribe with confidence and create change in the world while living the life you desire. And now your host, certified business coach and consultant, Mariana Ruiz.
This episode of the Impact Driven Entrepreneur is brought to you by my Become a Client Magnet Intensive. In this 90-minute intensive, you will learn how to attract ideal clients to you using your free content. So you'll learn how to actually monetize your free content, how to attract the right people and get the people to convert. In other words, to purchase from you from your free content. And I've walked hundreds of women through this process of creating your magnetic message and really starting to attract people to you through being yourself and not being pushy and not being salesy. So if that sounds like something that you want to do, go to marianacruiz.com/work with me, or just go to marianacruiz.com and click on the Work With Me page.
Hi there, and welcome to the Impact Driven Entrepreneur podcast. So in this episode, I'm actually going to be repurposing an episode of the Daily Impact. It's my new daily show that I do when I walk my dog every day in the morning. And the reason I'm doing that is because I'm actually at a mastermind retreat for the mastermind that I am in. So we are in Boston, Massachusetts. You might hear a different type of noise. I'm actually in like the stairwell in this beautiful house that we rented. And I wanted to share this episode of the Daily Impact with you because this was a really popular one that I got a lot of feedback from. And if you want to join us for that, the Daily Impact, our walks with my dog Nala, you can join us in the Impact Driven Entrepreneur, and we'll link to that in the show notes. So enjoy this episode. It's about the single most important concept to help you grow. And I share some really awesome stories and lessons with you. So enjoy. Good morning. So I am walking with the dog today, and I was like, I really want to do a Facebook Live. I freaking fell in love with these audio only Facebook Lives, and I was like, I can do it while walking my dog. Okay. So today I wanted to talk about this single concept that will determine if you will be successful or not. And I would say even like, let's define successful, because I think it's really important for us to be like on the same page about what we're talking about. So if you don't know me already, my name is Mariana. I am a business coach and consultant for impact-driven entrepreneurs who want to help others and do so in a way that sells with integrity and ease and joy and not changing who they are. So it's a recap. And what I wanted to talk about is this whole concept of, are you coachable? It's interesting because there's this one particular woman. So I've talked to her a couple of times, and she is really struggling in her business. And in corporate, she had a pretty successful, high-paying, like, administrative job and did a lot of the managing, the selling, that kind of thing. And she reached out to me initially because she was struggling. And then a few months later, I started talking a lot more about Facebook ads, and she needed some help with Facebook ads. And so I do Facebook ads consulting for small businesses as well, and actually run their Facebook ads. And at that time, I was like kind of just like dipping my toe in, you know? So I was like, okay, I'll run your Facebook ads for free the first $100. So that was what I was working on. And that was kind of like the offer. And when I got on the phone with her, she was like, yeah, I already know all of that. Like, literally, she said she knew everything and didn't really even allow me to talk about what I might do with her Facebook ads. Now, if she was really struggling like she said she was, does she know all of that the way she said she did? And if she was really struggling, is there a difference between knowing and doing? Right? It's one thing to know what to do, and it's another thing to be actually doing it. And I think a perfect example for that is kind of like the whole health and fitness thing. So I know what I'm supposed to eat and what I'm not supposed to eat. I have gained and lost like 80 pounds when my son was born, gained a lot of weight. I lost all that weight. I know what I'm supposed to eat. I know what I'm not supposed to eat. And guess what? I still eat the things I'm not supposed to eat, even though I know otherwise. And so my willingness to change and my willingness to be coachable, my willingness to be open to feedback from others is absolutely critical in my success. And I'm using these examples because I think they're very, very clear. And in my coaching certification, when I studied psychology in undergrad, like literally there's this change continuum, right? So like, how willing are you to change? And there's kind of like this cycle of change. And one of the first things you gotta realize is that you want to change. So like for things to change, you have to change things in your life. And that's not a crazy revolutionary concept, but it's something that I feel like people do struggle with, especially like when we have a lot of resistance in that topic, right? So for me, that's like my weight loss stuff. I do kind of have some resistance there. And that feeling of like, I know better, right? That ego. And for this woman, that was obviously having to do with her business. And she will continue to struggle until she realizes and is open to changing and is open to feedback and advice. And I think I just want to like wrap this up with a really, really great example that I witnessed when I was at Business by Design Live. So I am in this program called Business by Design, and my mentor, James Wedmore, hosts it, and he has a 6-figure mastermind. So everybody that's in the mastermind is 6 figures and above, and they are all really, really successful. And they're people like Tiffany Lee Bymaster and Zach Buckler, and who else was there? Oh, Jada Stelzner. They're all in that 6-figure mastermind. And they all went to the Business by Design Live event. That's a lower quote unquote event than what they've paid for. But number one, it's included. They get like access to it for free, I guess, or part of whatever they've paid or whatever. And I was watching them so intently because I'm like, what is the difference between somebody who is not at that level and somebody who is at that level? Right? Like, what is the difference between us being outside of the 6-figure mastermind and those people who are inside of it? And I'll tell you one thing that really stood out to me. The people in the 6-figure mastermind, they were all sitting in the front row. They were all taking notes. They were all freaking asking questions. Every single one of them. And do you know that the way James teaches is very peer-led? So there was a session where I was literally up on the stage teaching. And yes, there was a lot of people who were way more advanced than me. But when one of those mastermind members asked me a question, it was that light bulb moment of, oh, are we coachable? Are we willing to learn? Are we not putting ourselves and our ego as above somebody or something else. Because here's the thing, you can learn from anybody and everybody. And that is what will determine your ability to change. So, nobody gets on because it's like freaking 4 a.m. I get up this early, walk my dog, go meditate and work out and start working. And so I will chat with you soon. Have an awesome day. There you have it, another episode of the Impact Driven Entrepreneur. Thank you so much for tuning in. In next week's episode, I will be talking with Lauren Jean, and she and I are talking about how she got started teaching people about podcasting. And so if you have a podcast or would like to start one, this is a great episode for you. We also go into how to kind of change the packages that you offer so that you can offer some more high-end packages, because we talk about how she was able to put together some really high-end packages for her podcasting clients. And so that is going to be a really fun, awesome episode. I can't wait to share that with you next week, and have a great week. And for updates, I will be posting in the Impact Driven Entrepreneur about the mastermind, kind of lessons I'm learning along the way while I'm here, and a lot more fun details. And I'll see you next week.